Hey friends, welcome back. I hope today's video is an encouragement to you all. If you're new, my name is Lynette. We live in Sarasota, Florida as a family of 6. We have 4 children and we love living here. I do spend quite a bit of time in the kitchen these days. I am a Mennonite and I grew up Amish if you're new, and so some of this stuff has been something that I've, kind of done over the years, and other things like my sourdough, for instance, is a new skill I have finally kind of learned this year. I'm very happy about that. I feel like it's important to challenge yourself and learn new things every so often, and this was the year for sourdough. So I'll be showing a few things in regards to that, but then also just documenting some things I'm doing, in the kitchen. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm gonna go to Sam's Club. I have been trying to keep our costs down with our food bills each month, but it is just really hard. Food is just extremely pricey. I think Florida is probably one of the more costly states, and food prices in the last 2 years have just gone out the roof, I guess. We go through food. We're obviously a family of 6, and so I need to try and utilize Sam's a little bit more, and we need fresh produce, and our fridge is just looking kind of sad. So I'm gonna go see what I can find. Decided to try the gumdrop grapes. Got a thing of strawberries, some bananas, a 3-pound block of cream cheese. That should last a good while. 4 containers of butter, container of half and half, some Colby Monterey Jack cheese sticks. I decided to get these for the boys' lunches. I don't often do stuff like this, but I decided that way if I run out of baked goods, I would have some backups if I can keep them from eating them in between. This I decided to try. I had gotten the Chick-fil-A pimento cheese sandwich, chicken sandwich, and it was actually really good. So I grabbed these and also a thing of pimento cheese because I saw that and I was like, you know what, that could actually make just a really easy, fast dinner, or I could send these to school with the boys for their lunches and they can have a sandwich. And I got 2 gallons of milk. I really don't like Sam's Club's milk jugs. It's so hard to pour from, especially if you're a kid. This was a splurge, but I like having some things like this to put in the boys' lunches, and this is just a way to kind of spice it up. It's the ones where they have the little things to put in the yogurt. So anyway, got that. I got a big bag of hoagie rolls. These are smaller, but I figured I would freeze some of them and then we have some for later too. So here's the pimento cheese. I grabbed a pack of naan. I actually might freeze them till I'm ready to use them. A pack of cheese slices, Colby Monterey Jack, some freeze-dried strawberries, if you want some, a bag of lemons. I might make some fresh lemonade, and some Brussels sprouts, a bag of chips that I'm gonna try and divvy out into smaller baggies for the boys' lunches, and then a Caesar salad ready to go kit, and a bag of the Dots pretzels that I also want to try and put in smaller bags for them. So all of that came to $180. I think I had a couple dollars of credit to use there or something. So with tax and everything, that's how much it was. So yeah. I don't remember if I showed these boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I decided to make some lemonade right away. So I usually squeeze a couple of lemons into a pitcher, and then I think I did like a cup of sugar and then filled it up with some water, added some ice, and I should just get an exact amount because this time I feel like something was not quite the way it should be. It was okay, but I think maybe it could have been a little sweeter. So we live in town if you're new, and typical suburbia, we don't have much of a yard. It's one of the things that I really wish we had, but with the cost of housing here in Sarasota, it's just kind of hard to get everything you want. So I'm making do with my pool fence here for a laundry line if I need it. I've been trying to figure out where I could hang up a clothesline, but haven't come up with it so far. But I am doing some prep with my fruit and snacks that I got today. I find that this helps a lot. Can you say thank you? Good job. Is that good stuff? Wow. Don't worry, I cut the grapes in half. Careful. Okay, so I got my prep done for lunches. Grapes. This is strawberries for us to eat. I find if I have containers like this just open, the kids are a lot more apt to reach in and grab stuff. And I've got the yogurt and then some more strawberries in this drawer. This is sort of the vegetable drawer. And then this doesn't look the most organized, but this is cheese. And then on this side, there's like any meats. Time for a little afternoon pick-me-up with my Mama Java coffee. I am making an iced latte and doing a cold foam, which I use my immersion blender to just like whip it up. That's a DIY cold foam if you want to make some yourself. I did sweeten it with vanilla. Then I put 2 shots of espresso and some maple syrup, and then whatever choice of milk you want. And then I just sprinkled a dash of cinnamon on top, and it was delightful. Amidst my normal kitchen stuff, I always have laundry. I try to do 1 or sometimes 2 loads a day, generally, just to kind of keep after things. I don't know how you guys find it, but I find that if I skip a couple days, it just really piles up, and the kids go through usually at least 2 sets of clothes a day, the boys at least, if they're going to school, and sometimes even more than that now with their baseball practice starting. Harper likes to try and dress herself, I guess. So yeah, we go through a lot of clothes, and warmer temperatures sometimes just, mean you change more often. So I definitely have to keep on top of it. Next up is my sourdough that I have been proofing all day on the countertop. So the artisan loaves I will be shaping and putting into the refrigerator to cold proof overnight. And then I'll probably bake them tomorrow forenoon or something. The loaf bread, I will just go ahead and bake tonight. It has to rise in loaf pans or in a loaf pan for I think an hour or 2. So I'll probably bake that tonight. So for the main country style loaf, I got that from the Artisan Sourdough cookbook that I have. I would highly recommend it. I'll try to link it in the description box. You can also learn how to make your own starter in there. So this is what I'm doing at the moment. And then my other 2 sourdough loaves that I was making, the artisan style, that you'll see are from Allison Bickerstaff. She has a YouTube channel. I think I might mention it here later in the video, but just in case you're wondering where I got those recipes, that can be found on her blog. I'm still very much learning with sourdough, but this loaf is really easy. You can start it in the evening. If you feed your starter, you can start it in the evening, and then the next day, sometime evening maybe, you can
bake it. And I've just really been enjoying playing with it, I guess, and experimenting. Sometimes stuff flops. I don't always have success with everything, but I do know that sourdough is a lot better for you. It helps, like, it breaks down easier as far as digestion. You can, just consume it better and things like that. It's a lot healthier than maybe your normal bread. And so, yeah, it's just been a fun learning process. I still don't consider myself an expert, but I did have a fun, and also it was a bit of a challenge trying to create my own starter. But you totally don't have to create your own starter. You can even buy it. I know like Ballerina Farm has some. There would be Etsy stores you could probably buy some from, or even if you have a friend locally, maybe you can find a Facebook group or something. You should be able to find some starter that's already started for you. That way, especially if they're older, that's even better. And it's, kind of hard to kill once you have it going. And especially those who've been established for years, that would be a lot easier than trying to create it from scratch. But I was up for the challenge and it was kind of fun. So yeah, I'm definitely still learning, but I would say give it a try if you at all have a desire to. It's actually not that scary, and if you mess up, what's the worst that can happen? You just try again, right? Also, a great resource is Lisa from Farmhouse on Boone here on YouTube. She also has a blog. She is an expert at sourdough. She has a family of 10. She just had her 8th baby, and she is such an expert at it. And I do use some of her tips and methods. I would say if you're starting out, try to stick to one person, if that makes sense, because it'll soon become very confusing and even maybe more intimidating if you start reading all of these different blogs and resources and you're like, well, this person does this and that person does that. So finally it becomes a lot scarier in a sense. So find your person or find your blog or whatever it is, your cookbook, even the artisan style cookbook that I have, that one's a great one. Just stick to that until you're somewhat familiar with what you're doing and then maybe branch out from there. So I hope that helps. So at this point, it's just Harper and I, and the others are all at baseball practice. She's getting very grumpy. So we are gonna go on a golf cart ride. She loves going on golf cart rides. So I'll take you guys with us. Are you ready to go? Yeah. Love that Sarasota has such a variety of different things. We love living here. Yes, it can get hot in the summertime for sure, but it's just part of it, I guess. And a lot of times in the summer we'll, go travel a little bit or something. But yeah, we've got some countryside, and then we've got beaches and water. Like, what are you doing? You see the cow? There's the cow. So I baked my loaf of bread, and the boys and I and Oakland immediately scarfed up about half of it. It turned out really, really well, and it's very easy. Okay, it's the next morning. I'm finally getting around to baking my sourdough bread. I also may be making some ketchup today. I've never made ketchup. Steph from This Golden Hour, she's a friend of mine. She's also on YouTube, has an amazing channel. She canned ketchup the other day. She had put it in an Instagram post, and I immediately stopped at the store and grabbed some ingredients. I don't have, obviously garden tomatoes, but I figured, hey, I can at least buy some tomato juice, and the recipe looks very easy. You actually bake it versus water bath or pressure canning. So I think if I can, I'll do that. It's it doesn't require a lot of work, and it just needs to cook for a couple hours, so I'm gonna be here anyway. I'm going to
bake my first artisan loaf here and see how that does. We ate about half of the other loaf last night already, and this morning Oakland's here, I guess, to help me. Look at that.
Why did it turn to it like that?
Sprinkle some on the loaf. Flour all over it.
It is good. It's a raspberry. Like a door. Put it on your finger.
So this goes into the oven. I forgot to mention that this recipe is from Allison Bickerstaff. She also has a YouTube channel, and I've been making this one several times already. So I'll go ahead and link this recipe below. I feel fairly good about this tomato juice, at least. It has tomato juice from concentrate, salt, vitamin C, that's it. Two. 6. We're making monster bars.
Monster bars.
Instead of monster cookies, this is an easier thing to do than cookies because you don't have to do, you know, individual cookies. So it's just done on a sheet. I don't have enough peanut butter.
We have to buy more.
I started the recipe. Now what are we gonna do, Oakland?
We have to buy more peanut butter.
Well, we can't go anywhere to get it. Okay, so, now I have to find another recipe. I think I'm gonna try and make some chocolate chip cookies. Hopefully they'll turn out. I'm gonna try these in bar form. I did not have quite enough peanut butter, but I'm hoping that won't matter. Okay, pulled my sourdough loaves out here to show you guys. This one is the rosemary thyme, and I think I put a little Parmesan cheese in there, so one of these I'll freeze and the other one we'll probably eat. This one is the dill and Parmesan. They had asked for cheddar, but I didn't have that white cheddar, so you can see here it's not perfect. I had scored it like a big score here on the side, but it wasn't enough. These didn't probably go quite deep enough, but it looks good anyway. This one I baked just a little bit longer and like 10 degrees higher, so it's probably a bit more done than this one is, but I am happy. And my ketchup is cooking. I've been cooking for about an hour now. It needs to do another hour. Not exactly sure why, but that's what the recipe calls for. And then I've got my bars in the oven. They look pretty good.
So it was lunchtime and I decided to just make some sandwiches for us, and they turned out really good. The only thing I would probably say is I don't know that I would do dill again. It was okay, but it was not my favorite for sure. It kind of gives a bit of a pickle taste, so you know, if you don't love pickles, maybe don't do dill. Okay, so back to my ketchup. I finally had it thick enough. The recipe called for cornstarch, but I didn't actually have any, so I used Thermoflow and I think a little bit of clear gel. I did a little bit of research and it sounded like that's okay to use. And so, yeah, I'm not an expert with canning. Definitely do your own research. Just my disclaimer there. So I got it thick enough and put it in the jars. And it's actually very, very easy to bake it. So, yeah, this was very nice. I could do it all at once and it only took 30 minutes.
So my ketchup, there it goes, is done. The lids are sealing. I feel like I sort of gave myself a bit too much to do, but I am glad I got it done. The ketchup actually tastes really good. I tasted a little bit of it. Obviously it's hot at this point, but it tastes really good. And it would be like a really good base for like barbecue sauce, for meatballs and things, meatloaf, that type of thing. I always feel like, oh, I'm wasting so much ketchup, like when I just buy a tube of it. So this is gonna be really nice. Anyway, the girls are both down for naps. Harper has been a bit of a bear the last while. My days aren't always just like peaceful. Teething and stuff like that, I think. So hopefully another nap will do her some good. Yeah, she's kind of been up and down the last week or so. Not just her completely normal happy self. It kind of comes and goes. So I'm attributing it to teething. But I am gonna take a little break this afternoon, I think. Maybe sit down and then I'll need to think of something for dinner. I still have some tomato juice left over, so I might try to make some haystacks. I know I show you this quite a bit on here, but Caden had requested it and it's a meal that most of the family really likes. And so I'm thinking I might actually make like a double batch and put some in the freezer. That way it's ready to go for another time. These bars turned out really good actually.
For dinner, I decided on potato haystacks versus the regular haystacks with rice, the Amish Mennonite style that I often make. I needed to use up potatoes anyway, and rice is not like my kids' favorite anyway. They will eat it, you know, if it's mixed in, but I was like, you know what, this would be a little different, and I wouldn't use all of the toppings that I normally do with haystacks. So this was a little easier. So yeah, I just went ahead and got that ready, and it took, I don't know, half hour, 40 minutes. I also had some broccoli that I was wanting to use up, so I steamed some of that, and you can use that as a topping. And then I made a homemade cheese sauce to go on it. You can also put sour cream on the pile, and it turns out really yummy. I am going to close out the video here. I hope you enjoyed tagging along the last 2 days.
I've been in the kitchen a good portion of it. Not every day is like this, but the last couple of days were. So hopefully it inspired you and encouraged you. Make sure you check out the description box if you're looking for some links or recipes. I'll do my best to do what I can there. It's right under the title of the video. There's a little more button. So that's where you'll find that. And if you're still here and you're new, hit the subscribe button. I'd love that. So thank you all for watching. I will see you next week. Bye, friends.